Okay, so you're thinking about starting a short-term rental, right? The idea is super exciting. Flexible income, a new business venture. It's easy to get swept up in all that. But hold on. The big question isn't just, can I do this? It's, should I? And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today, figuring out if this business is actually the right fit for you.
I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. Just because something looks good doesn't mean it's right for you. For the right person, a short-term rental can be an absolute home run. But for the wrong person, it can be a real headache. The whole point is figuring this out now, before you're in too deep.
All right, let's tackle the biggest myth right out of the gate. So many people think, hey, I've got a property, or I'm about to get one, starting an STR is the obvious next move. But honestly, that's not always the case, and the reason why is probably not what you think.
Here's the thing. Success in this business isn't really about the real estate itself. It's all about how you run it. You have to think of it as an active business, not some passive investment where you just collect checks. It's not a set it and forget it kind of deal. It demands your attention, consistently.
So what does active really mean in the day-to-day? Well, it's the constant back and forth with guests. It's making sure the place is perfect between every single stay. It's keeping an eye on your calendar, tweaking your prices, juggling cleaners, and making sure every guest gets that same great experience. These aren't things you do once in a while. This stuff is the daily grind, the very pulse of the business.
See how this changes the whole conversation? The question really isn't, do I have a place to rent out? The real, honest-to-goodness question you need to ask yourself is, am I actually cool with doing all that stuff we just talked about? That right there is where your decision-making process should begin. It's a total mindset shift.
Okay, to help you figure this out, we're going to look at 3 types of people who get into this business. I want you to listen closely and see if you recognize yourself in one of these profiles. Be honest. First up, we've got the natural operator. This is the person who kind of geeks out on the details. They're super organized, quick to reply, and they actually enjoy the hospitality part. They love being in the driver's seat. Then you've got the supported investor. This person is smart. They see the potential in their property, but they know their time is stretched thin. For them, the only way to succeed is with a great support system. We're talking a solid property manager, reliable cleaners, and the right tech. And last, there's the mismatched owner. This person really just wants a check in the mail. They want totally passive income and get super annoyed by guest questions or last-minute problems. For this person, the STR model is going to feel like a constant battle. Okay, so figuring out which one of those you are, that's step 1. Step 2 is getting real about what you actually want out of this. Because at the end of the day, the business has to fit both the property and the person running it. It's a package deal.
So let's get personal for a second. Ask yourself these things. Are you looking for a hands-on project or something that mostly runs itself? Do you actually get a kick out of making someone's trip special, or are you just here for the money? And how are you with unpredictability? Slow months, busy months, changing prices? Your gut answers to these questions are way more important than that initial buzz of excitement.
This really lays out the 2 sides of the coin, doesn't it? If you're willing to be actively involved, yeah, you can often make more money, but it means you're the one managing the day-to-day. If what you really crave is stability and minimal effort, that's totally fine, but maybe a traditional long-term rental is a better fit for that goal. It's a classic trade-off.
All right, so let's bring this all home. After thinking through all this, you can actually make a decision you feel good about. And I want to be super clear here. Deciding that STRs aren't for you is just as much of a win. Any choice you make with your eyes wide open is a smart choice.
And look at this. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. A bunch of people are going to dive in and manage it all themselves. Another big group will buy the property but hire people to run it. And you know what? A significant chunk will realize, nope, this isn't my jam. And all 3 of those are successful outcomes. Why? Because they're all based on being clear about what you want.
So here's your game plan, your path to clarity. It's just 3 steps. 1, figure out your fit. Which one of those profiles felt like you? 2, define your role. Are you the operator or are you the investor? And 3, choose your path. Self-manage, outsource, or step away. Simple, right? But man, is it powerful.
And this is why we're spending so much time on this. If you skip this step, you risk ending up with a property that's a total money pit or just being completely burned out by the workload. You end up chasing this phantom of passive income that was never really there. A little bit of clarity right now will save you from a mountain of frustration down the road. Trust me. So if there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. The magic formula for success in this business is alignment. It's when the person, the property, and the support system all line up perfectly. When those three things are in sync, that's when things really take off.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. After everything we've talked about, which path feels right for you? Are you the hands-on operator ready to roll up your sleeves? Are you the supported investor who builds a great team? Or are you the person who smartly says, you know what, this isn't for me? Really think about it, because your honest answer to that is the best first step you could possibly take.